It's your brother Malcolm from the branch of GMS here in Chicago, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bashim Nawashai, whom I worship. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of all Israel on earth today. And salutations to the Akim that are doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and freedom to do so. Salutations to the confusion of faith brothers who are coming into the fold. And salutations to the few Akwat that are listening and learning. Just a quick lesson. About 3 days ago, it was about 3 days ago, I had a vision, I had a dream, and and there's scriptures that tell you how, instead of, I'm just going to read it. I'm going to go to the book of Joel, the second chapter, starting at the 28th verse. And it says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days I will pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in heavens and in earth and in blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness." There's a full eclipse today. Right, it was supposed to be happening right around noon, because the brother Uriah is going to be doing a sit down at the time that it's happening. All right, so this is a very spiritual time that we're living in. And it says, "And the sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of Yahweh come." Because that time is about here, man. "And it shall come to pass that whoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as Yahweh hath said, and in the remnant of whom Yahweh shall call." So that's it. So it's in Jerusalem and in Mount Zion deliverance going to come. The rest of you people, you already screwed, man. You're the walking dead already. If you are on the continental lands of America, at the time of Jacob's trouble, all the way up until the end come till Yahweh cracks those clouds and comes and puts Esau down. All right, because Esau is getting ready to get put down. All right, he's going to get released to do his last damaging work. All right, and he's going to be like a rabid dog, killing, murdering, raping, and with full hatred. It tells you in what was I reading? I believe it's in Ezekiel, the 23rd chapter, that he's gonna turn you over to Esau's fury, and that Esau's gonna have the hatred of the Lord on him, just like it tells you in later on in that chapter in Ezekiel 25 that by the remnant of Jacob is gonna get at Esau, and he's gonna have and we're gonna have a full hatred of the Lord on us when we go after Esau, except we're going to have that power when Israel does it. All right, it's going to be the difference, man. But there's going to come a horrible time, and the dreams and visions of these times are becoming more and more apparent. You just go on the internet, go on YouTube, and there are literally thousands of videos of people having dreams about the RFID chip, about martial law, about war, about America on fire, all these different things, man, that happen because this is the time that we're living in. And Edomite, and with his mainstream witchcraft, is not going to talk about these things because Esau actually thinks he's going to fight and win the Lord. But that's the illusion that the Lord has given him, letting him think that he actually has a chance. All right? And then some of them in their spirit know it's over. That's why they fight so hard. And the fact that they're pulling down Edomite statues that are statues that of the representation of Edomite supremacy. All right, and they're doing it in America. The fact that they're talking about the destruction of Mount Rushmore in America, that it's even in conversation, is evident in itself that this man is finished. It's over. All right, so he's going to do his last great damage, and it's going to be a great damage, man. A lot of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are getting ready to die grievous and painful deaths at the hand of these Edomites, man. Your mothers, your daughters, your wives, your children are going to be raped, including your male children. Esau is going to unleash his fury on you. And all you swirlers. Yeah, because I got on a train and was super sore vexed yesterday. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but the Spirit just brought it back to my memory, man. Because here I go and I sit down, and across from me is Jake hugged up with some Edomite, and they two men. All right. Then a nigga woman comes and sits down next to me with her round belly, and on comes her Edomite husband right next to her. All right, sitting on the other side of me. And then here come blunt smoking, funky, stinky, skunk smelling Jake with his pants sagging, walking by, funking up everything. All right. And then she starts, bad mouthing him, and I mean, he was a 2/3 ass nigga, but here she is bad mouthing him to the enemy, man. Hey, may the Lord cut that Edomite tear baby right out of her belly, man. Right before her eyes. And because the scripture clearly says if you join unto them, you're going to get ran through. That's in Isaiah the 13th chapter, man. So all you swirling women, man, you in for it, man. And the Lord is going to unleash these. Matter of fact, let me just get it, man. Let me just get it. Let's let the words of the Bible, let's let the words of the Most High condemn you. All right. This was supposed to be just about 3-4 scriptures read, but the Spirit, is taking over. This is Ezekiel, the 23rd chapter, starting at verse 24. Yeah, starting at verse 24. Ezekiel 23 and 24. And they shall come again. They shall come against thee with chariots and wagons and wheels, and an assembly of people, which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet about, and will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgments. All right, that's that paramilitary, man. All right, those riot troops. All right, and just them angry, torch burning, club carrying, pistol carrying, AR-15 carrying Edomites, man. And they gonna kick in your doors. And the sister wasn't she wasn't like she wasn't really my flavor, but she wasn't a bad looking sister, man. All right, and all round bellied and stuff. And guess what? Them Edomite troops gonna run through you anyway. All right, you gonna see how much you like the Edomites when they pump you full of their seed, man, over and over and over again. Like that guy said in what the communists say to Maximus in the Gladiator movie, is they ravished her again and again and again, how she moaned like a whore. All right, we're gonna see how much you love these Edomites, man. When they got a rod in every orifice that you have, man, continuously, and when you tired and worn out and think it's over, here come the next 10 of them. That's how they're gonna be treating you out here, man. This is getting graphic with it, and that's what it is, man. It says, they will strip thee of thy clothes and take away thy fair jewels. Thought I was making it up? All right. Thus will I make thee thy lewdness and cease from thee, and thy whoredom brought from the land of Egypt, so that thou shalt not lift up thine eyes unto them, nor remember Egypt anymore. So once this, then you're gonna realize who your enemy is, and that these Edomites are really the devil, man, and that they really hate you. Because all through this chapter, it's comparing Israel to the whorish woman that was sleeping with a whole bunch of men. So you're about to be forced to sleep with your enemy in a way that you couldn't even imagine, man. So enough of that. Let's go back to the vision. Now I'm gonna go to Acts, right? And it's beautiful the way the scriptures just link up and connect together. This is Acts, the 2nd chapter, and I'm starting at verse 17. So this is Acts 2 and 17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. All right? And even the heathens are having dreams. right? Especially heathen women of destruction. And on my servants and on my handmaids, I will pour out in those days a spirit, and they shall prophesy. And you got so many Israelite women that are making videos about the destruction that's coming. They're taking of the chip. All right, because the Lord is pouring out their spirit on them. Okay, and the sun shall be turned into darkness. Today is a solar eclipse, man. On the verge of the collapse of the dollar, on the verge of World War III. You're having race riots and civil unrest across America, which is only going to increase. All right. The nations are rising up against each other, and you got Egyptian versus the Egyptian. You got so-called white people committing white-on-white violence, attacking and all against each other, splitting, separated in every way imaginable, man. This is a divided people. This place is finished, man. And it is happening. It's literally happening right before your faces, man. All right. It said, it shall come to pass that whosoever call on the name of Salaki, let me go back up, verse 19. And I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood, fire, vapor, and smoke, disasters, floods, animals beaching themselves out of the ocean. Okay, lightning strikes and damn their whole states burning down. Your open areas, millions of acres of land. Floods all over the earth, volcanoes going off. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and notable day of Yahweh to come. And because the Lord is coming, it's telling these are the birth pains. These are those contractions that's coming before the baby come. That baby of destruction, man. All right. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Yahweh shall be saved. All right, because they love. That's in Romans 10 and 13. And in a couple other places, they love quoting that. But this is the precept to it. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. All right? So they got nothing to do with you other nations, man. Okay? Now, going back to the dream. A couple days ago, I had a dream. And the only part I remember the dream is this part right here. That was a young man in a wheelchair. All right? And I asked, just like they did in the scriptures. All right. And I don't remember if I asked out loud or if I said it to myself. But my question was, what had he done wrong? What did he do to get him into that position? Was it in this life or the last life or whatever? I don't remember if I said it out loud or if I thought it. And then it was answered, just like it was in the scripture. All right. That he was put in that position and suffered that way in his life just so he could be raised up before me and all that were looking to increase our faith, to prove the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's what it was all about. So he had done no wrong, but he got lifted up and he rose up out of that chariot, out of that chair. The chair actually got beamed up into the air. And while he was in the air, he changed into a big muscle-bound mighty man. All right? And he grew in stature and everything. He was about 1.5 feet to 2 feet taller, full of muscle, shiny brown skin. And he was healthy and beyond strong, man. This is John, the 9th chapter. And it reads, and as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from birth. And his disciple asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And Yahushua answered, neither have this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of power should be made manifest in him. All right. So just to prove the Lord's power, to increase their faith, that young brother there was born blind, and everyone that was aware he was from knew he was born blind. And then he was made to see that day, because all just to prove the Lord's power to all those people, man. All right, this is one last scripture, and I'm done. This is Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, verse 27 through 29. And it reads, when I have brought them again from the people and gathered them out of their enemies' lands, and sanctified them in the sight of many nations. So we're going to get raised up in the sight of many nations. This is how the them is talking about the Israelites out of the nations, not the nations themselves. This is another one of those scriptures that prove the nations got nothing coming but chains and slavery, because all nations benefited from our slavery and no one spoke up for us. No one told the truth about who we were. And as a matter of fact, they all together colluded to help cover up and keep the history hidden. All right. And they all collectively to this day come against the truth and still are trying to conceal it for the most part. All right. Then shall they know that I am Yahweh, their power, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen, but I have gathered them unto their own land and have left none of them. And see, this hasn't happened yet. That's how you know that because this didn't happen to the Israelis. They didn't get lifted up out of every nation that they have. They weren't being called by other names and had to wake up and remember who they were. They didn't go through that prophecy because they're not the people. All right. And they're not ruling over and everyone bowing down to them. And the destructions of different places haven't happened because great destruction comes with the deliverance of Israel, man. All right. So you people, you nations of the world, and you so-called Christians, especially you Edomite Christians, are willfully ignorant. Willfully. All right. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, saith Yahweh power. All right. And it takes you right back to Joel, the 2nd chapter, man. As a matter of fact, when you go back to Joel, the 2nd chapter, and you read verse 2 and 27, all right, because I started at 28, and it reads, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Yahweh, your power, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. So so that shame is getting taken off us. You can see the shame being put upon the so-called white man with the destruction of all his statues, his way of life. His men and his women are committing suicide. The sperm count is low. They're not having babies. They're dying off. Many of their women are bearing the seed of men of dark nations. It's over for them. America is on the verge of falling and collapsing, on the verge of civil war, and the so-called Edomite, the Edomite, the so-called white man, is divided worldwide. All right. So with that, I hope this was edifying and uplifting to those it was intended, and that it is a spirit breaker for those whom it was intended. Shalom.